Southern University. Today we celebrate 141 years of the Southern University. Usually we would gather for Convocation in the Felton G. Clark Activity Center. However, in these unprecedented times, we will honor our founders and the spirit of Southern virtually. Last year around this time, our celebration of 140 years was stopped abruptly. As we gathered on these sacred grounds, our country was preparing for a shutdown due to COVID-19, which we are still combating today. As with any challenge, the Southern University system pivoted and became stronger. Our 5 campuses united to ensure that our students, employees, and others that we serve continue to receive instruction and assistance, and we remain safe. It hasn't been an easy road, but we continue to travel it together. That is why today and always we celebrate unity. We invite you to join us on this virtual journey as our Southern University Lab School students pay homage to the founding family, the Clarks, in their annual pilgrimage. We will then hear from some prolific voices of the past and present about our contributions dating from 1880 to the present from each of our campuses. And finally, we will hear from our current President Chancellor about the state of our university, which remains the only historically Black university system in the nation. Welcome to Founders Day 2021, the Southern University celebrating unity.
What began as an act of political and educational activism more than 141 years ago is today a living legacy of determination, commitment, success, and unity. With a strong foundation, a proven record of achievement, and a fresh vision for the future, Southern University's charge to advance the mission of its founders remains at the heart of our administrators, faculty, students, and alumni. Boasting a diverse portfolio of undergraduate, graduate, and professional programs, Southern University continues to excel in academic achievement. As the only historically Black university system in America, each campus provides a distinct learning environment that reflects their community's intellectual, cultural, and workforce needs. Southern University was chartered in 1880 in New Orleans as the first state-supported institution of higher education for Black Louisianans. Southern was founded in response to the efforts of Black political leaders such as former Governor P.B.S. Pinchback, T.T. Allain, Eric J. Gilmore, and Henry Demas. At the time, Louisiana had 3 Black private colleges, Straight University in 1868, Leland University in 1870, and New Orleans University in 1873. All 3 schools were located in New Orleans, as was Southern University initially. Southern provided a welcome alternative for those who could not afford to attend private institutions of higher learning. 12 students entered Southern University in 1881. Like most Black institutions at the time, the first courses were at the pre-college level. Slowly, college-level instruction was added as well as vocational training. The 1890 Morrill Act allowed Southern to be designated as a land-grant institution and established an agricultural and mechanical department. Southern eventually outgrew its modest New Orleans campus and was relocated in 1914 to Scotts Bluff, overlooking the Mississippi River in the all-Black community town of Scotlandville, just north of Baton Rouge.
There were some 26 sites that was proposed for Southern. Grambling, Donaldsonville, Vidalia, New Iberia, and the list just goes on and on of sites that were proposed, including several here in Baton Rouge. There was a feeling that New Orleans kind of limited the access of Blacks in the northern part of the state to a university. Plus, it had a very prominent location there on St. Charles Street, fairly close to Tulane University. Also, there was private institutions in New Orleans, Straight, Leland, and several other what we would call probably business schools that was there. And the feeling were that it needed to be more centrally located. So a delegation of blacks went to the Governor J.Y. Sanders, inquiring about the establishment of a black institution in the other parts of the state, or another part of the state, a more centrally located institution. And he said that he would not support a new school, but he would certainly see if they could move southern from New Orleans to a more centrally located area. And hence, that movement began, and by 1913, New Orleans was no longer the site of Southern. And it's interesting because it closed on Juneteenth, 1913, never to reopen again in New Orleans until we get the branch campus in the 1960s.
The university reopened with Dr. Joseph Samuel Clark as president. Under J.S. Clark's leadership, Southern began its evolution into a major institution of higher learning. During J.S. Clark's tenure, from 1914 to 1938, the enrollment grew from 47 students to more than 500 students as he initiated or expanded programs such as the College of Education. When President J.S. Clark retired in 1938, his son, Dr. Felton Grandison Clark, succeeded him. Felton G. Clark presided over the campus from 1938 to 1969. During his long tenure, enrollment grew from 500 to nearly 10,000 students, making Southern the historically black college with the largest enrollment in the nation.
I was introduced to Southern University when I came here with the 4-H club when I was in the 7th, 8th grade. That was my first visit to Southern University. And when I set my foot on the campus and stayed an hour or so, I knew I didn't want to go to school anywhere else. Well, we made history at NASA in that we were the first black engineers or technical people at NASA at all. When we went to Marshall Space Flight Center, the only black people you saw worked in the kitchen or were janitors or the yard people. Those were the only black people we saw. And we dressed every day with tie and everything, shirt and tie, to make sure we stood out so they wouldn't ask us to go sweep their office or get them some coffee or something. But we did have occasions where that did happen, but we realized, they realized pretty soon that we were a little bit different. And we all set out to distinguish ourselves because we knew we couldn't fail. If we had failed to do the work and carry out the mission we were assigned, there would not be other black engineers to follow us. So we knew we were trailblazers and we acted accordingly.
Ironically, racial segregation in Louisiana's higher education institutions promoted Southern University's growth and development. In 1947, for example, Southern was authorized by the state of Louisiana to open a law school when civil rights activists demanded admission to the Louisiana State University Law School.
I am not an anomaly. I am one of many giants who have risen to ranks in all of the courts across this state and many states, in legislative capacities, as CEOs in the entertainment arena. We have produced graduates who have gone on to change the legal and social landscape of this nation. I also want to note that in the litigation that started this law center, there were some legal giants that should not be overlooked. So if you look at the Charles Hatfield litigation, the signature line, we must never forget, there was Thurgood Marshall, there was A.P. Turow, but of note, we should not overlook, there was Louis A. Berry, who would go on to be a dean of this law center. So that represents yet another rich chapter of this history of this law center, that one of the attorneys who successfully represented Charles Hatfield goes on to represent this law center. And it certainly should not be overlooked that Charles Hatfield's grandson happened to have been admitted to this law center and would go on to do the work that Mr. Hatfield envisioned himself to do.
Southern also grew because of the educational demands of the state's black population. In 1956, the institution returned to Louisiana's largest city, birthing Southern University at New Orleans.
Our School of Social Work at SUNO is named after Millie M. Charles. Who was Millie M. Charles? We call her Dean Charles affectionately. Well, she was the founding dean of the School of Social Work here at SUNO back in 1965. There first was a Bachelor of Social Work program, and then later on in 1983, she founded our Masters of Social Work program, and that program has been continuously accredited since that time. Now, as a HBCU and the School of Social Work within an HBCU, Dean Charles was very adamant that we have a philosophy of teaching and an approach that would prepare our students to prepare our people for life in this urban environment that we live in. And so her theme, and which is our school's theme, is advocacy, empowerment, and transformation. And we try to continue to live out those themes and to teach those themes in her honor every day with every student that we teach. We try to send our students out into the community with that message so that they can impact the community as soon-to-be professional social workers.
8 years later, in 1967, Southern University established a campus in Shreveport, the largest city in the northern part of the state.
And you know, when I think about the Milam Street Kitchen Incubator and Community Kitchen, we recently opened it around the time COVID hit. That was, and we thought we were going to be closed, but then we thought about the situation that was at hand, individuals in the community not having access to healthy, fresh food. And we brought the tenants that had been interviewing to be a part of the facility and brought them in immediately and allowed them to prepare fresh, healthy meals and provide those lunches and dinners to individuals in the communities. Those meals would go, in 15, 20 minutes flat. And that would not have been possible without, partners such as the City of Shreveport, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Healthy Blue, Capital One, entities, the Beard, entities such as that who were committed to ensuring that the facility would operate, but not only operate, but operate to address needs that we had no idea that were going to be put upon us with COVID-19. So that was very exciting to still be effective and do what the mission had dictated for us to do, to provide healthy opportunities in the community.
Both campuses and the main campus in Baton Rouge became the Southern University system in 1974.
Dolores Spikes, the third president of the Southern University system, serving from 1988 to 1996, is the first African-American woman to be named Chief Executive Officer of a public university.
I was the first graduate of Southern to get a PhD in mathematics. And in all that time, there should have been somebody before me. Luckily, there have been others that have come after me. And that's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to uplift our students to have greater aspirations, greater dreams of what they could be and what they wanted to be. Stay strong. And when you see something that you know is not right, be brave enough to stand up together and say so.
In 2001, the Southern University Agricultural Research and Extension Center was established.
The mission of the Southern University Ag Center is to link citizens of Louisiana with opportunities for success. And through our medical marijuana program, we make sure that we provide the information or the educational component that our constituents may need, because, a lot of people still have that negative stigma that's associated with medical marijuana or marijuana per se, but we want to remove that stigma and educate them on the value or the benefits of this plant, because that's exactly what it is, a plant. And although our stakeholders or our black farmers cannot actually touch the marijuana plant, we do have the hemp program in which we provide education, offer a certificate course that they can come be a part of and do hands-on experiences. We also offer classes to the students where they can get that firsthand knowledge of this. So, you know, if they choose a career path that involves plants, or if they want to go in the cannabis space, they're actually able to do so.
As the Southern University system continues unified growth across Louisiana, our goal is to enroll 20,000 plus students throughout the Southern University system over a 10-year period through the Imagine 20K initiative. Imagine 20K is grounded in Southern University's historical traditions, but focused on new directions for a global future. The BOLD initiative seeks to strengthen the system and its campuses by addressing the challenges facing the state of Louisiana, our nation, and the world.
I think we have to occupy a leadership role in these conversations if we are to remain relevant. One example of that, frankly, relating back to COVID, is the governor established a health equity task force, because there are great disparities in access to health care in this country. And there are also great disparities we see in the data on the impact that COVID is having on minority communities in this country. And so that health equity task force plays a very vital role, but it's housed here at Southern University and chaired by Dr. Sandra Brown, who's the Dean of our nursing school. Those are the kinds of examples, I believe, where we can have a meaningful and sustaining impact on relevant current issues.
Standing on the framework of the great leaders before us, Southern University will continue to fulfill the core mission of providing appropriate access, quality instruction, basic and applied research opportunities, and service activities. Southern will always strive to educate a diverse group of students to become productive citizens and global leaders of tomorrow.
You know, I want us to be an institution of higher learning of choice for students who fall at every point of the academic register. I want the high achieving 30+ ACT score who would be sought after by any college or university on the planet, on down to the Des Moines Rutledges, right? Who came to Southern perhaps not fully prepared, but fully committed to get an education and to be somebody. And it gave me an opportunity, took me in the condition that it found me, dusted me off and educated me and equipped and empowered me to compete in a global marketplace.
Greetings, Southernites, and happy Founders Day. I hope this message finds each of you safe and well. I am truly excited about this opportunity to celebrate Southern University and A&M College's presence for the last 141 years, particularly in keeping with its role of advancing educational excellence. But that did not happen in a vacuum, and each year, as we're doing today, we take a moment to acknowledge, yes, the founders of this great institution, but also the many stewards who through the years have continued to invest in the mission of our enterprise. Administrators, faculty, and staff come to mind, but also the Southern University Board of Supervisors, the Alumni Federation, and thousands across the globe who continue to support and advocate for her. As president, I come to you today on behalf of the entirety of the university community to express our gratitude to those who have unselfishly given of themselves to serve our institution. They and you are greatly appreciated. If I had to consider one word to describe the year 2020, it would be unprecedented. Since March of 2020, we have all had to adapt to the new norm, resorting from COVID-19. During this unfamiliar time, the Southern University and A&M College system rose to the occasion and fully lived up to its motto, "We are Southern." This simple yet powerful phrase underscores a history of fortitude despite challenges, a record of success despite challenges, and a profound commitment to providing educational access to transform lives for generations to come. We are indeed Southern. For the last 5 years, I have had the distinct pleasure to serve as the 10th president of the Southern University and A&M College System and chancellor of the Southern University Baton Rouge campus. During this period, we have made notable achievements which have been clearly aligned with the system's strategic plan fulfilling the promise of Pathway to Excellence and Imagine 20K, which serves as the foundational guide for the growth and sustainability of the Baton Rouge campus, and which has allowed us to annually assess our programs from year to year. These living documents not only allow us to be intentional about this work, but provide quantifiable data to drive decisions and priorities. In charting our annual growth, we have realized numerous successes for FY 2020 academic year. The Southern University Year 2 Annual Accountability Scorecard indicated that we have met or exceeded nearly 80% of our outcomes, ranging from academic excellence to institutional effectiveness. Similarly, the Baton Rouge campus has met or exceeded nearly 75% of expected outcomes, ranging from fundraising to student success and affordability. For this, we are extremely proud. With the given climate, we have shifted to a more enhanced technological infrastructure. COVID-19 has necessitated the importance of increased broadband access, along with the utilization of laptops for instruction. In fact, the Baton Rouge campus is one of the first campuses within the state to institute the eBook initiative, where students may access all course materials electronically by way of one affordable flat rate. Additionally, the campus has distributed nearly 2,000 laptops to students and faculty to ensure the efficient delivery of instruction, regardless of whether a student opted to matriculate virtually, face-to-face, or via the hybrid model. COVID-19 has also allowed the opportunity to ensure that our students were not fiscally constrained to the extent that it impacted their tuition, whereas the university was able to provide financial assistance for qualifying students through resources derived from the CARES Act Relief Fund. And despite the numerous challenges that were presented this year, together we continue to make considerable progress in support of our mission and vision. We are pleased now then to report the continuation of exponential growth in system-wide enrollment. The fall 2020 enrollment data shows approximately more than 13,000 students were enrolled system-wide, which exceeded fall 2019 system-wide enrollment. This historic enrollment gain especially is important when considering the COVID-19 pandemic. Our progress not only locally was recognized, but several achievements have risen to national prominence and recognition. In fact, all campuses are slated for reaffirmation during the 2020-2021 academic year. I am proud to announce that not only has the Baton Rouge campus successfully achieved national reaffirmation through the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges with no findings, the Southern University at New Orleans campus probationary status has been lifted, and we anticipate SUNO being well on its way to full accreditation in the spring. Southern University at Shreveport and the Southern University Law Center are similarly positioned for a positive accreditation process. We also know that many of our successes could not be possible if it were not for the involvement and support of the Board of Supervisors, our faculty and staff, alumni, donors, legislative partners, and other stakeholders. Now more than ever, it is imperative that we forge impactful partnerships to leverage additional resources. For the first time in years, the Baton Rouge campus provided enhanced access to medical resources to support a safe return to campus during the COVID-19 environment, while our Student Health Center provided immediate health care services to students to include COVID-19 testing, we also provided an array of expanded free healthcare services to the Southern University community, as facilitated by CareSouth Medical Clinic in Ochsner. These partnerships have proved to be extremely beneficial to lower COVID-19 incidence rates for our campus. And Southern University was recognized by higher education partners for our ability to quickly provide this level of service for the safety and protection of our faculty, staff, and students. Look, Southern University is thriving. We are firmly committed to the Board of Regents Master Plan goal of 60% degree attainment by 2030. But we could not have made these notable achievements without the founders of this great institution, and we certainly could not sustain this level of progress that the system has enjoyed without you. So on today, we celebrate Southern University and the many accomplishments that indicate that Southern University is and will continue to be a major contributor to talent development in this great state of Louisiana.